Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent Makori. This is Africa 54. Now, the search is on for the persons behind Monday's bombing at the Boston Marathon. Here's the latest: 3 people dead and more than 140 wounded. Some remain in critical condition. The twin blasts turned the joy of victory into agony for marathon fans all over the world. A White House official says the incidents were clearly acts of terror. President Obama praised the prompt response to the Boston attacks. In a televised speech Monday, he promised every single federal resource necessary to care for the victims and counsel the families.
Boston police, firefighters, and first responders, as well as the National Guard, responded heroically and continue to do so as we speak. It's a reminder that so many Americans serve and sacrifice on our behalf every single day, without regard to their own safety, in dangerous and difficult circumstances. And we salute all those who assisted in responding so quickly and professionally to this tragedy.
The president also vowed the perpetrators of the attacks will be found and will feel the full weight of justice. Boston Police Commissioner Edward Davis told a news conference investigators are trying to determine where the bombs were planted.
After this incident occurred, there was certainly a lot of people who were running from the scene. Some of them deposited bags and parcels that they were carrying. Each one of those bags and parcels is being treated as a suspicious device at this point in time. We have multiple EOD teams that are checking each one of these bags. But at this point, we have not found another device.
Massachusetts Governor DEVAL said the FBI and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, Firearms and Explosives are helping with the investigation, and he called on people to contribute any information they may have.
Again, if people have information, please use those tip lines. This is very, very important that we get as current information as we can as quickly as possible.
Police searched a Boston area apartment. They gathered evidence but made no arrests. Viewers, Carolyn Presutti is in Boston, and she filed this report a short time ago.
Boston begins a new day after yesterday's tragedy along the finish line. Commuters trying to get back in the routine but stuck in traffic because of the perimeter that's now considered a crime scene. Many schools are closed around the Boston area. One school saying that it was closed for healing and reflection. Many marathon runners are walking along the sidewalk, some of them dragging their luggage behind them as they leave for home. But Bostonians say they are resilient and they will bounce back in time for next year's running of the 118th Boston Marathon. In Boston, Massachusetts, Carolyn Presutti, VOA News.
Well, security has been boosted here in Washington and across the United States in the wake of the bombings. Our team coverage continues now with VOA's Laurel Bowman, who joins us live from our position overlooking the U.S. Capitol. Hey, Laurel, now, can you describe for us the mood and the state of affairs in Washington, D.C. a day after the marathon attacks?
Well, tourists in the area, as you know, we're at the tail end of the Cherry Blossom Festival, where people from all over the world come to Washington. They can expect heightened security, lots of police out, dogs, long lines when you need to check your bags to go through security checkpoints. So that's the atmosphere you're coming into here in the city.
Now, we know that President Obama and other senior officials have not pointed a finger at any specific group locally or internationally. What are we supposed to read into that?
Well, Vince, I think they just don't know. They don't want people jumping to conclusions. They don't know if it's a malevolent individual, as you said, a foreign group, a domestic group. They just don't know at this point, and they want the police to be able to do due diligence, the investigators and the FBI.
And today actually happens to be Emancipation Day here in Washington, D.C. How have the events of this day, which is a holiday too, been impacted by the whole Boston explosions?
Well, again, the mayor of this city and the police chief have urged people to come out for a special day, Emancipation Day. There's a parade, concert, fireworks. Emancipation Day celebrates when President Abraham Lincoln signed a bill freeing the city's slaves. So it's a big day in Washington, and officials here want people to enjoy it, but you can't expect heightened security there as well.
As you were coming in perhaps to work, did you get a sense that the individuals are cautious, are concerned about any possible threat to their lives?
Well, You know, it's been a while in Washington since we've had this feeling of, you know, a terrorist attack. So, yeah, I think it was on people's minds. I did notice, you know, people being extra vigilant.
Okay, and all precaution, of course, is being taken. Yeah, Laurel, we want to thank you very much for giving us a sense of things in Washington, D.C.
Thank you, Vince.